All right, action.
Alright, so we got a repair here on the right slope. Some of the tools I'm going to be using: standard roof snake for nailing the shingles in, pry bar with designated P-hook here for taking the nails out. I want to unseal with this shingle, with this tool, and take out the nails with this tool and not this tool. You can see the thickness right there, way thinner. And this does have a hook side, but this is just for nailing in. It's just an area to put the nail in, and to hit it, we can nail it. This is the only side that actually has like a V hole here. This one, it's got both sides, super thin. And a standard hammer is what I'm using to nail everything in. Damaged shingle right here that we have. Already kind of notated it, some of the markings are still here from the adjustment. Let's start off with 3-tap shingle. I believe, I can't see where the seam is here, like up here I can see where this seam is. I can kind of give you an idea of where the shingle ends. I don't know with this one, so what I'm going to do is I usually start left to right. I'm going to start left here. I'm going to unseal this shingle here to determine if the seam is here. If it's not there, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to go here and unseal it right here. If the seam is here, then I know that this is the edge of the shingle. So right now, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to look for the edge of the shingle. That's it. So starting off, palm down, fingertips up as always. I just want to apply a little bit of pressure to where the seal area is to go on my super thin crowbar to be able to take the sealant out and to eventually remove the nails and get the shingle out of there. Doing it very carefully. And I'll check underneath too to make sure there's no material transfer. Underneath of here, I don't think there's a seam here. Oh, there is. So there's a seam here. This is where the edge of this shingle is, so I know, and just so I can understand with my markings, I'll mark it. This is damaged shingle, and then these two are its counterparts. So this is one full 3-tap shingle right here. Now that I know that, I'll go ahead and unseal these 2 shingles here. Same process. Same exact process. And so this one's already unsealed. We're going to go ahead and continue with the right side. Going underneath here, again, fingertips up, palm down. And I'll cut away at that sealant. The reason why I want to put a little bit of pressure on top here, this being an older shingle, I don't want to risk any tool that I use, whether it be a roof snake or a pry bar, going through the shingles, ripping it up, anything like that. So me just applying a little bit of pressure to the top here just guarantees that when I put my pry bar in, I'm only cutting away at that sealant. I'm not cutting away at actual shingle. These are the undamaged shingles here. We don't want to affect them at all. You kind of hear that that's just the shingles coming unsealed. It's been pretty cool up here in Jersey, but the shingles here, they're not sealing pretty tight. But they're still sealed down. So they're not sealed down pretty tight. They're not giving me too much of a hard time here. They're going through very, very easy, but you can still hear them coming up. The entire row is already unsealed. We got 1, 2, 3 more on top. There we go. There we go. All the shingles are unsealed. I'm going to go in now, identify where the nails are. As you can see, thumb is down, fingertips are down, thumb is up here on the same shingle that I'm operating on. Fingers are never on the same shingle that I'm operating on. I'm never putting it here or over here. I'm always putting it on top if I need to, but majority of the time just lifting it up. So I'll identify where the nail is. I'll go in with my tool here. This is an issue that I've run into here a good amount of times on roofs like this, where the nail is nailed in at an angle downwards, meaning that the lip of the edge of the nail, I can't hook it at all. So I'm going to try to hook it here. Unfortunately, the nail, it's driven downwards. So I don't want to lift this shingle too high here. It's not in the way of me completing this repair, so I'm just going to leave it alone and go to the next one. Like I said, if it's not in the way of my repair, I'm just going to continue going. I don't want to have to lift the shingle too high. Unfortunately, like I said, some of these nails were overdriven, or we were driven at an angle. And being the fact that this roof is double layered, the nails have sunk down slightly, meaning that there's nothing for me to grab onto when I go in and try to take the nail out. So, like I said, over there, that's not bothering the repair anymore, so I'll leave it alone. Right here, I was able to finesse the nails out, as you can see. But please note, look how long the nails are. Standard roofing nail is about half of that. This is 2 times the length. Because this is a double layered roof, that's what you need in order for it to penetrate the first layer, go to the second layer, and eventually reach the plywood. Great tool for the job. As you can see, I'm far away. When I'm right here, I'm far away. While my tool is operating, my hands are over here. So I'm always far away from the actual shingle. That's why I said, see, I can just leave it alone now and just let the tool work for me. It's the blunt side. Going with that hook, I'll do it one-handed. You can see, that's how high I need to lift that shingle. The nail's out right now, I'm just showing you how high I need to lift it. The nail's out. Top row. As you can see, I need to work on this nail here a little bit more, but I can do it very easily because of how far I am from the actual nail. I use that blunt side. You can see that the shingle is protruding out. That means the nail heads are now exposed. I can go in and just scoop both of those out. Some of these actually, you can see, slightly bent. Bent a little bit because they're so long and they have to go through 2 layers of shingles. They get affected very easily. So please take note of that. I'm going to go ahead and continue. Try and just kind of work the repair as best as we can. And throughout the repair, we've been very, very careful, not lifting the shingle too high, not doing too much, not being too aggressive. As you can see here, I'm being very careful, very cautious with how I'm doing this. All this in order to try to preserve the shingle for the repair. So far, so good. There you go. That's how high I have to lift it. As you can see, that's the same height that I have to lift it if I'm doing it one-handed. So whether I'm doing it one-handed or I'm using the same method, I'm always lifting at the same height. And my fingertips never on the same shingle that I'm operating on. Come on. Fix my footing. My knees are starting to hurt. Nails are primarily out. I'll go underneath now. I'll give it a little bit of help in order to help it pop out. I have to go underneath the shingle. There you have it, damaged shingle. And you can actually see where it's double layered. The original color of the shingle is popping out here. It's brown 3-tab shingle. For the purpose of the repair, we're gonna go ahead and pop the shingle back in. I'll go underneath just to help it work a little bit. Now we're set. Now I'll go in with my snake tool and I'll start nailing these nails in. Set the nail. I said, it's a lot larger of a nail because it's double layered. So I'm just having to take my time a little bit. Thank you for bearing with me. There we go. I'm gonna make sure I do it correctly. Don't lift the shingles too high. Take my time with it a little bit. Roof is kind of being a little annoying with me, but again, we adapt. There we go. Again, I'll be using a lot thinner nails, or smaller nails I should say, but the fact still remains that unfortunately we just can't. This being a double layered roof, it's kind of impossible to do that. This roof is being a little difficult with me. Again, I'm doing everything the proper way. Again, I think it might just be the fact that's a larger nail and it's not wanting to go in. I'm going to try one more time at a different angle. There we go, that one went in. Again, this is the roof. This isn't me at all. The roof is kind of just doing what it does. Unfortunately, with a longer nail, it makes it a lot difficult. A lot more difficult. We got a seam here. With seams, I like to put the first nail in, and I'll go in and put the second nail right after. Instead of driving the entire first nail through and then coming back with the second nail, I do it all in one go. That just leaves less tension on the shingle. Two more nails. Before we do anything, I'll bring you in, show you what's going on. Thank you for your patience on this video. Like I said, the roof was being a little difficult, but you can see the surrounding shingles here. Starting off with the right side, you can see it's already damage occurring on the left-hand side. Get a little closer. Shingle next to that, pretty much clear cut, left and right side. Same thing with these two. Right side, right side. This one did great. Same thing here, you can see all the way across the top. And same thing here. So just to review, post-repair, this repair was needed because of the wind damaged shingle. You can see the damage there, here, here. Now back away from the sun so you can see overview. Only one where you don't see anything at all is the top left. This is exactly how I want these shingles to look. I don't want them to look like the rest of these. But unfortunately, 6 out of 7 is not a passing grade. This is a failed repair. Thank you very much.